good evening, and welcome to your favorite show on St. Lucian Television. Now, for our usual viewers, I know I am not the one that you're accustomed to seeing as soon as the show starts, or the one who usually makes that comment. Karim is not with us this evening, but I believe that we did a good job in finding someone to hold his space for the evening, I should say, because of course Karim will be back. This evening I am joined on set by none other than the mind, I could say, behind Crossroads and really the driving force behind all of the episodes that we see coming out, Mr. Nixon Barry. Barry, how are you feeling this evening, and how does it feel to step out from behind the scenes and onto the stage?
Well, Jack, thank you so much for such a warm introduction. I must say I feel quite exciting. I'm a little bit nervous because I do have big shoes to fill, but nonetheless, I am excited about this evening, and let's do this.
All right, amazing. I think we have a great show ahead. Of course, Barry, like I said, has been working behind the scenes. So he has been the one really pushing the pre-recorded content that you would see when we go into the communities. And today's episode will definitely feature some of that. Barry, as part of your hosting orientation, I'd just like to give you the opportunity to introduce our first guest this evening.
Wow, thank you. You know, Jacka, Crossroads have been around St. Lucia. We've been to the north, we've been to the south, Viewport, etc. And this evening we went a little bit down the west coast into the beautiful scenic community of Canaries. And with us we have Mr. Lance Shepherd, one of the shepherds leading the flock in Canaries. Lance, welcome to Crossroads.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today, I must say.
And how do you feel?
Oh, I feel excited, I must say. Very excited.
All right, so I'm guessing St. Lucia and the world is wondering who is Lance Shepherd. So let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about who Lance Shepherd is.
To just keep it short, I believe.
We'll take that.
So Lance Shepherd is a young guy from Canaries, just trying to build up his community. I work in a lot of different things, just to try to build up the momentum in our community.
All right, and we've seen you leading the youth in Canaries in areas from agriculture, arts. I don't want to give away too much before we really get into today's show, but I could say fully that he does a lot in Canaries. Of course, you would have been on the ground in Canaries recently, and speaking with some members of the community who really spoke well about Lance. How about we check out that video?
Yes, I certainly should. I think in this video we're going to have a quick insight. We're going to hear from one of St. Lucia's youth development activists, Mr. David Henry, and Miss Janelle Felix, two young people who I believe have great energy and definitely would tell us more about Lance.
My name is David Henry. I'm a young leader from the Canaries community. I'm very grateful here to speak about my friend Lance Shepherd. I've known Lance for the longest of whiles. We began our youth work together from 2010. Starting with Church Youth Group, Youth for Christ, where we really shaped what youth engagement within the church setting is like. Moving forward, we moved into the Sacred Sports Foundation, where we did a lot of work in reference to sports development, using sports as a tool to tackle and shape a lot of the issues that young people face. So as one of the programs Sacred Sports did in the community is to move our focus from just sports but into other areas such as agriculture. And one of the new things that came into St. Lucia a few years ago was aquaponics. And so Lance spearheaded our project here in the Canaries community, where we had the first aquaponics project here. And as part of that project, a number of young people were trained in creating aquaponics system and to be able to produce not just the crops itself, but to be able to sustain livelihood of fish. This has been an ongoing success, and Lance really has been the person to take on these other initiatives, and through that, Canaries community has had a number of young people who have been trained in diverse fields, none that Lance specializes in, but his talent is really engaging the young people and really helping them try to make the impossible possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Janelle Felix. I am the Secretary of the Youth and Sports Council. I met Lance last year in March when we were all elected to be on the council, and I would say that working with Lance has been a blast. And we've worked with him on like so many things, such as our sip and paint activities. We had 2 of them, one for mothers and we had another one. We also worked with him on a men's health talk. And right now we're working on our summer camp. Today was the first day of camp, and I would say that Lance was the best facilitator. Currently, Lance is the president of the Canaries Youth and Sports Council. He was not elected in that position at first. First, he was one of our trustees. But we were having a few issues, and he stepped up and showed his leadership, and now he's our president. And I'm happy that he's our president because Lance is the best, I would say.
Welcome back this evening, and you're watching Crossroads. We have Lance Shepard from Canaries with us in studios. Jaka?
All right, well, from that video, I think we could definitely say that you are well loved throughout your community. I mean, how does it feel to hear people speak about you so well? You know, they usually say we wait too long to give people their flowers, but it seems like the membership of your youth council and of course Canaries by extension really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Well, I must say I'm very excited to hear them speaking about me, because majority of the time we don't really hear those good things about people who work in the community as well. I must say I'm quite happy.
All right. Now, one thing that they mentioned was aquaponics. Now, me being a science fair kid, back in my days, I could say, when I heard about aquaponics, it was more on a small scale, children putting together projects for the National Science Fair, the district science fairs, and perhaps for regional showcases. But tell me a bit about what is happening in Canaries in regards to aquaponics.
So what is happening now with aquaponics in Canaries? It's still on a small scale, but what we try to do, maybe hopefully by next year we could introduce it in the primary school and infant school. So what we're trying to do now is trying to develop a base where we could say we could employ one person in that field, where we could say we could introduce it more to our community and selling the product.
All right. And why decide to take that route in terms of exploring agriculture of the youth in Canaries?
So that route, I believe that majority of the time we eat a lot of bad things. We eat a lot of bad things, and it could be one of the keys for a healthier lifestyle. So with that, it's totally organic, so no chemicals introduced into the system. So that way, and it's very fun as well in raising a child into aquaponics to get the benefits of everything.
All right. Barry.
Very, very interesting. I mean, I am on a special diet. I think I need to get some of those products that you're preparing.
Even the fish as well.
Oh, you see that?
I was actually about to ask, because when you hear aquaponics, I think a lot of people would have thought about the fish, but then you're growing plants as well.
Vegetables.
So is fish and plants together.
Certainly.
So the fish itself is giving the waste that feeds the plant.
That's like the fertilizer.
And, yes, the fertilizer. And the plants give the fish fresh water. But the only thing you have to do to the system is to just feed the fish.
Okay, so
All
things to
right.
consider for my next visit to Canaries. Are there anything on the market yet? Is it related to aquaponics and you're
Aquaponics
selling
for now, no.
Okay.
We have nothing. But our last product was basil.
Right.
So that is done.
Okay.
All right. I think one of the things to consider, of course, with people going into agriculture, I remember there was a phase where we were speaking about food security in St. Lucia,
Yes, yes.
and people were encouraged to have backyard gardens. But not
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
has the space for a backyard garden.
But aquaponics itself, you don't really need a big space to grow it.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's quite simple.
So it's very efficient.
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
You could put it inside, you could have your aquaponics inside, and then you should be fine.
I think we might need to do some upgrades to the Crossroads set, get some
Aquaponics.
aquaponics going on set.
Great stuff with the aquaponics. I really like the idea. I think it's healthy. It's very good. Jaka, I want to dive a little bit back into Lance and his youth development. How should I put it?
Well, Barry, we know that is your forte.
Well, of course.
Of course, stick
that
with
is a
it.
field that I work in, and we've heard so much from David and from Janelle about Lance and his role in Canaries as a youth development activist, a youth development practitioner. You're practicing youth development. Where did it begin? When did you realize you had that interest in working with young people?
To tell you the truth, quite late. Quite late. But saying that, starting off with church and everything, you know, sometimes you just in the church, but sometimes you don't really get that purpose of why you're here. Or even though you join a group, sometimes it's not for that purpose you join a group. But after, well, being in the church, well, I'm still active with church and everything, but being in the church and being out there with groups as well, we realize a lot of our people are going astray. Sometimes they don't really have to go into the drugs, but just their laissez-faire attitude. So just being there and just relax, like their mother giving them things, everybody giving them something. But for me, I realized I didn't really want to be too much. I like to be independent. I like to do my own thing. And I don't like my friends just be sitting there. So
Right.
I like to do something or push them, try to get some work or try to get something done. So then lately I realized, you know what? That role, like saying being the person in charge of things, it wasn't really for me. But I realized a lot of people have been looking at me as that role model. But when I watch myself, I'm saying like, no, I don't think I am.
So you think they motivated
They
you?
motivate me like big time. Like my
Okay.
friends and family motivate me a lot.
Okay.
So I think that's why I got my role as trying to be the person in charge of things now.
Well, you certainly got in there and you are excelling because you are now the president of the
Of-
Canaries Youth and Sports Council.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that. How did that happen?
About that. So, our president of the Youth and Sports Council at the time, well, when they re-elected, so I was the trustee. I didn't really want to go up as the president, but a lot of my friends told me to go up as the president, go up as the president. So I was like, okay, I'm going up as the president, but I was late for the the election. So I was like, when I got in, they was just about to say they missing the trustee. I was like, because on the last board, I was the assistant treasurer. So they say, you know what, why not they need somebody to fill up the role. So I say, well, me. So going to the meeting, unfortunately that the president could not continue her post. So she had to step down with work. And then everybody was like, Lance, I feel like you, the person that's like the person to go up. I was like,
your
me, the
time to
person.
shine.
I'm like so busy. I'm into so much things. Why enter and pick up a next role?
Right.
So maybe 2 weeks later, still going to the meeting without a president, and then there was like, then I said, you know what? It will not kill me to be the president because every meeting I'm still there.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Just let me go up.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
So I went up, took up the role with the help of my body. I feel like they're the best support for me right now because at the end of the day, I did not really know I had it in me without them. So I'd like to thank them especially for that.
I say,
Look at how
when
beautiful that
destiny
relationship
calls,
is.
I think is the theme here.
Yeah.
I see a bit of crisis leadership, a bit of
Correct.
servant leadership. I think it's a good mix, Jacka.
Absolutely. And I think it really stands to show that sometimes we may not see potential in ourselves that other people
To
are
see.
very clearly seeing.
That's true.
And speaking of potential, we know Lance has been working in several other areas of the community.
Yes, he has.
yeah.
I mean, of course, Crossroads is working with several persons as well to make
Yes,
the episodes
yes,
possible.
yes,
Barry, as the
yes.
man in charge, how about
I
you tell
mean,
us about that?
Certainly. I do think we're also due for a break, Jacka. And so just before we go, we'd like to say thanks to, of course, KFC, who is one of our sponsors. DBS, of course, we rebroadcast on Saturdays 11 to
11 to 12.
to 12, and soon coming to Choice as well.
right.
And of course, our biggest supporter, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. We do have our director and PS and our HR in studios with us tonight.
They
so-
never miss an episode. They never miss an episode. They might as well be hosts too. We might have
I
to
know,
think
we'll
about
have to
that.
bring them on. We'll have to bring them on. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. More action here on Crossroads.
Are you looking to broaden your career opportunities? Future-proof your career with a bachelor's degree from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We've introduced new cutting-edge degree programs in environmental studies and sustainability, tourism and hospitality, business administration, and public health. Online platforms are making it easier than ever before to further your education and mask your competitive advantage. This is the game changer you've been waiting for. Get the highest return on your investment in the ECS from the college you trust. Visit salcc.edu.lc. Apply today for September 2021.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with the program. Now this evening, of course, we have a special guest and we have a special guest host as well. I feel like it's certainly what do I call this opportunity? Being on set at Crossroads with the mind behind Crossroads. I might have to think about it. I'll tell you what I think about it at the end of the episode. Of course, we're continuing with Lance Barry. What are you thinking at the moment in regards to Lance's work in Canneries?
I must confess, I've had the opportunity to work along with Lance as a youth and sports officer in Canneries. I think his work is excellent. His ability to connect with young people and, I mean, really deliver on programs. One of the latest we've had is his steel pan, which the ministry was very proud to support. Yeah, man, he's a music man. And so I think I would like to know more about Lance and his steel pan.
We have to ask first off, I mean, just off the heels of the carnival season, were you part of Panorama?
Oh yes, we was part of Panorama. Wow. As you say that just brought me back to
Good
that
memories.
feeling. Good memories. Yeah, but we was part of Panorama. We have been part of Panorama for a long time now. Well, 2018. So, yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of fun hearing about the names of different entities here on Crossroads. So take us into the name of your steel pan band.
Okay, so the name of, like I have the shirt on.
You're branded.
I'm branded. The name of the steel pan is Can Beats.
Can Bates.
Can Beats. So like Canner's Beats.
I was wondering what was the inspiration behind the name.
Yeah, so Canner's Beats just for the music aspect, but we're just not really a steel pan group, but more of a community group, trying to get in touch with the young people in the community. Because at first, steel pan is not, well, steel pan is new in Canneries, very new. So that aspect, we get a lot of children interested. So that's one of the things.
Amazing. It's really part of that shift we've been seeing recently to get young people more involved in music, because not only it's physical activity, it's socializing, it's, you know, mental activity as well. You could be learning a lot. You could be learning to coordinate yourself better. What was the driving factor in deciding to do steel pan?
Oh, so the driving factor for doing steel pan, well, when I go way back, I think 2016, I think I went to Trinidad. I went to Trinidad, and then I was like, wow, they have steel pan and the culture and everything. But I wasn't really into steel pan down in St. Lucia. To me, I did not know nothing about steel pan. So, but when we got back, when I got back to St. Lucia, I was like, hey, let's do something. But CDF, Cultural Development Foundation, they had that program running. So they had a program for canneries and soufre. So we went into it. And then I believe that's where the love for steel pan started. So we did the program for 2017 to 2019, canneries soufre. But during that time we went to Panorama as well, just for a little experience and that kind of feel. But the steel pan program, must say, has been very good.
All right. Well,
And,
we've spoken a lot about steel pan.
Yes.
How about we see what they've been doing?
Certainly. We've been on the ground in
Yeah.
canneries, and we've been talking to people about the steel pan. So I think we should definitely hear what they have to say about Lance and the steel pan in canneries.
Okay, I am Vinette Longville, a member of CanBeats. I'm actually the treasurer for CanBeats Steel Pan, and Lance is our president. CanBeats began from a summer program in 2017, which the CDF, where persons from canneries and soufre attended in soufre. From there, Lance's love for steel pan began. Following this, in 2018, there was another summer program. This time, this summer program was held in canneries, and Lance used this opportunity to mobilize more people to become interested in steel pan. After this came Panorama in 2017, where SUFCAN participated for the first time, and SUFCAN was made up of persons from canneries and soufre, and at the time Lance was the band leader. SUFCAN participated in Panorama 2017, where they placed fourth. Following this, in 2018, the summer program continued with the CDF. This time it took place in canneries. And with the summer program, Lance was able to mobilize more persons to participate, and this also allowed SUFCAN to participate in Panorama 2018. One thing that I really admire about Lance is that his leadership skills. Within CanBeats, one thing that he does, he allows the younger persons in the group to take charge. He's not afraid to give them the opportunities to lead various parts of the group. Following 2019, in 2020, the program continued in our community of canneries. There was, because of COVID and so on, there was not any summer programs with the CDF and so on. So Lance, on his own, and a few of us used our connections with various organizations that we have worked with before in order to run our own programs with own after-school programs with the children of the community. And this has been tremendous. We've had 2 programs, where one was sponsored by the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, and this was truly a success. Through these 2 programs, we have gained the interest of a lot of the young persons in the community, those in the primary school age group, to be specific.
Of course, I am in the mood. I mean, it's music, it's steel pan, it's exciting stuff. Really exciting. Lance, a breath of fresh air. Jacka, what do you think?
I'll just say our guest host is giving Karim a run for his money. I don't think Karim ever bust a move. The one time we asked, he shied away a bit, but Barry's doing a good job. Lance, it was absolutely vibes. I have to ask, the gentleman dancing in front of the stage, was that you?
Oh, no. I was, this time I did not play any steel pan, but I was in the back hitting the iron. I think that's where all my members want me to go, is in the back to hit the iron.
Hit the
iron. Call me Iron Man.
Something that stood out to me in one of your previous comments, you said that steel pan is new to canneries. Yet I'm looking at you on the main stage, on playing in Panorama.
Yeah, national competition.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So Panorama, but first off, so it's Sufra Canneries on stage there.
Okay.
So it's Sufra Canneries, that's what we do every year because of numbers. Because our community would not be, they would not have enough children
to qualify. Okay.
So we kind of mix up the two and then we become one.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think that bringing more flavor to, Super have its own vibe, Candice has its
whole
own vibe.
Creole pot, a nice bouillon.
Oh
good,
yeah.
Good.
Thank you for that, Barry. Now I need a snack.
But how was the feeling? Tell me about the feeling of that level of accomplishment, being able to make it on the big stage, and how did you perform?
Oh, we performed very good. Like, I feel like that was one of our best performances ever. Thanks to our ranger Jesse. He did a very good job with us. Jesse and Akram, they did very well with us, I must say. But out of everything, we are very happy that we are over with Panorama. Because that feeling, the carnival feeling was there.
Yeah.
I must say. Because COVID and going back on stage, that was a good vibe.
The energy.
I felt like wine and go down.
Oh gosh. Oi.
All right, before we continue with Lance, I just want to put it out there that we are open for questions. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask Lance or our second guest who will be joining us in a bit, you can just comment those on our Facebook and they will be filtered to us by our team. Now, continuing with Lance. Now that Carnival is over, like you said, a breath of relief, but the work still continues down in canneries. Barry would have mentioned earlier that you are also involved in sports. So what is taking place with sports in canneries?
With sports, what we're doing now is that we had a program with the Ministry of Youth and Sports called Harmony in Motion. So we point on 3 aspects. So we have the steel pan, we have football, that's a grassroots program, and then we have a basketball program as well going on in the community. So we try our best to accommodate all those 3 keys, in sports. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
I think we need to note that you cannot sleep on canneries.
Not at all.
Canneries has been dominating in so many areas. I mean, even the artists, we call it Denry segment.
Yeah.
But so we need to give canneries their flowers. We have Dove Tufani, we have Samo, and these are artists who have been traveling, representing St. Lucia, and of course representing canneries proudly.
So I think we have to look forward to a remix of one of those songs with a little bit of steel pan in it.
Oh,
yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's one of our projects as well.
You see?
Yeah, so hopefully for Geno Creole, you will get a bit of that.
Okay.
All right,
I am
big things
excited.
still coming from canneries, Lance. Definitely a community to keep their eyes on.
Very. The big community.
All right now we are due for a quick commercial break, but you need to stay tuned because of course we have more information and more great content coming up, and we will be joined by another guest. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Oi, boss. No, sorry. Excuse me, boss. Can I please be excused to go pay my driver's license?
Okay, I have to do mine as well. I'll do it later.
Okay, I'll see you on the line.
This is Edgar. He's going on the line. This is Caleb. Caleb does not go on the line. He takes care of his transactions online. Caleb uses the DigiGov platform. With DigiGov, he can access and pay for government services using a computer, tablet, or mobile device. DigiGov allows you to apply for and renew your driver's and vehicle permits, submit registrations, and pay fees at various other government agencies. Simply get online and sign up for a DigiGov account today.
Sorry it took so long, boss. Traffic was hectic, line was long. You'll not make it today?
Make it? I'm done. Come.
Don't be like Edgar, be like Caleb. Take back your time, get off the line, and get online with DigiGov, serving people and businesses with that island love.
If you are in receipt of an abnormally high bill, it is highly possible that you have a leak. That leak may not always be visible. Before you contact Wasco, conduct a do-it-yourself test. 1. Record your meter reading. 2. Do not use water for 30 minutes to 1 hour. 3. Take another meter reading. If the reading changes, you have a leak. Contact a plumber to identify and fix the leak at the earliest. A message brought to you by the Water and Sewage Company Incorporated, Wasco.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is Crossroads. Yes, we are back with another edition and you will continue seeing us throughout the rest of the year. So I hope that you have your social media following the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports for all updates on everything Crossroads. Of course, this evening we are doing all things Canaries and I have a special guest host joining me this evening. So I want to give Barry the opportunity to welcome our second guest for this evening. Barry.
Thank you, Jacka. And I like to say that we have shepherds in the house. Titus, welcome to Crossroads. How are you feeling this evening?
I am awesome. It's good to be here and then to talk about everything and then the exposure is really good.
Are you feeling the vibes? Are you feeling the Crossroads vibes?
So the thing about the shepherds, we are always positive. So,
all right.
So yeah.
I love it.
And just to make things abundantly clear, Barry did mention we are joined by shepherds because the two of you are brothers, I believe.
Oh yes. I'm actually the eldest brother of say there's so many of us
so many.
Yeah. So.
All right. Which shepherd is leading the flock?
Oh yeah, that guy.
This shepherd is leading the flock. All right.
That's to set the examples.
Well, you're obviously setting a good example because, of course, Lance is doing so well with the youth in Canaries. What has your involvement been like in the community?
So with my involvement with it's been from a young age. We come from a sporting background. Mm-hmm. So we come up from playing my entire family plays football, netball. We represent St. Lucia at national levels and all these things. And then Lance is
not everybody plays football. I'm not cheerleader.
I was just about to mention that. I was just about to mention that. So I also have there's two cheerleaders. My sister Leanne is also a cheerleader. So, yes.
How many siblings?
There's 9 of us.
Oh, there are a lot of shepherds.
Yeah, lots of shepherds. So if you probably heard of Cassandra Wilfred, Antoine Wilfred, those are shepherds, but they signed Wilfred. I have no idea why they signed Wilfred. So
I have to ask my director, Mary. But Jacka, from this shepherd's conversation, I believe leads right into shepherd's cocktails.
Shepherd's cocktails, absolutely. I mean, you're working together as brothers, in addition to your work with the youth in Canaries, to invest in yourselves in the form of entrepreneurship.
Certainly. And we've had the opportunity again to go into Canaries and get a feel of what I've seen the thing on Facebook, I've seen it on Instagram. It had me so drawn in that I needed to go to Canaries and experience it myself.
Exactly, because Barry said we went, but he did mean I. You'll see what I meant in a moment.
So I think we should have a look at what Shepherd's Cocktail has to offer.
Hi, my name is Titus Shepherd. My business is called Shepherd's Cocktail. It's a kind of a dream for me to actually really start this and do this kind of thing. I've been a bartender from 2006, I've been all over the world, like traveling and bartending, and like my goal is to actually try to bring back what I've learned to St. Lucia and have like my share of like everybody experience what I've learned. So I have my brother Lance Shepherd, who's like actually helping me. He's like one of the best things that happens because like he's my brother and knows how to promote and how to sell. So with like my experience and with Lance being there, it's like a win-win situation for both of us because like we know how to do this thing. And with like the drinks that I make, I try to make drinks that are kind of like whatever towards people's liking. If you like something bitter, something sweet, something, that's what I try to create. So that's where Shepherd's Cocktail has like its little advantage. I don't try to like keep things like as local as everything because like my little experience that I've done, being on the ship with like working in the Alchemy bar, working in like local bars and all these things, where I would use like things like basil, watermelon, cucumbers in a drink where people would normally just use like everything. So I try to implement these things in a drink and try to make it for everybody. So yeah. Why it started is because like not really wanting to work out there again, and it's time to like show off and promote this thing, and having lunch there and teaching my brother how to make cocktails. So for today, like actually like what I really wanted to do was like just present like a couple cocktails in that aspect with like making the watermelon drink. Say where I will make a quick watermelon and cucumber drink for you guys just out there. Slices of cucumber. That's the used line. Sugar syrup and myrtle. For this drink, I try to use like mostly local stuff because I want to promote mostly local ingredients. So I'm gonna use like Bacardi White, so use 2 ounces of that. And orange juice, 1 ounce. So for my glass, I like my glasses to be well sexy. So as you can see when I'm shaking, like I try to use glasses so everybody sees exactly what's going in the drink. So we'll shake right there. Strainer. So I like to double strain just for oblivion. Watermelon.
Now, what an experience that would have been. I mean, our in-studio audience is a bit disappointed that we didn't get any samples, but Barry, the gentleman at the end of that video looked so familiar. I mean, have you ever met him?
I was going to say like Shaggy, it wasn't me. But I think the video evidence proves otherwise. But I must confess I didn't drink. I was driving at night, so I gave it to Marklin. But I had to live the experience. Looking at the mixologist, the handwork, the skill that he put into that. Sitting there, I just had to pull the glass and live the experience. I mean, Shepherd's Cocktail. By the way, I'm coming back. I need one of those non-alcoholic ones. My doctor have me in strict orders, so I'm coming back.
No worries, I'm a doctor myself. So.
Yes.
So we see things coming full circle. I noticed that some of the ingredients you would have mentioned, cucumbers, watermelon, basil, those are products that are being produced in canneries through aquaponics. So is that where you're
Some of them.
sourcing?
Just the basil for now.
Just the basil for now?
Just the basil for now.
I like the connection.
Okay. You know, I'm speaking in future tense because, you know, it's always so important as an entrepreneur to be self-sustainable. I mean, what we would have seen throughout the pandemic is a lot of small businesses went under because they couldn't receive the products that they need. I mean, we had supply chain issues. We're seeing the same thing extending right now with the war over in Ukraine. So I think sustainability is something you'd have thought of when you decided to use local products.
Oh, yes.
Definitely, because like this guy is so local, because like now I'm gonna use like the still pan as an advantage, so where I could use like cocktails and still pan for like future events.
Build the ambiance.
So like yes,
So,
I have like the win situation on my side right there. So
What a dynamic
we call
really.
it SNS, but and still pan.
Barry's trying to get you sued for copyright. Yes, if you need any information on not getting sued for copyright, you know, right upstairs, Uranora House, you could check with, you know, the registry.
Yes, certainly.
Exactly. But you do have a very dynamic duo going on with your business. He would have mentioned that each of you serve specific roles with the business. So take us into that.
You understand? Okay. So this guy right here, my brother, he is the main guy at the back of the cocktails. He will be the one, majority of the time, he will be the one mixing, and majority of the time I'll be taking out pictures and posting on Instagram and social media just for the follow-up. But I have been mixing a lot myself.
Okay.
A lot.
Very multifaceted.
So, yeah, like too much. So yeah, I've been mixing as well, but we have equal roles in the business as well. So we do events. If he's not available, I go and do the events, and then if I'm not available, he do the events, he do the drinks. Especially for our drinks itself, we normally customize drinks to fit your suit, like to suit you for your event, like colors and everything.
Wow.
yeah, for sure, because like with the cocktails and all these things, like in Shepherd's Cocktails, where my thing is like, whilst it's starting to grow, and eventually when it grows bigger, to show off the skills and then like teach younger people like how to make cocktails and all these things. So you cannot have like all the knowledge and not try to share it. So you have to like share your experience and like, so yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, brothers working together. I mean, we love to see it. The Shepherds. I mean, Barry is working on something there for you. That's some good copyright advice. So you could go, you know, put that down, make it legal. All right. So, of course, we will be continuing with you. We are due for another commercial break, but of course, I want to remind that the floor is open for questions. If there's anything that you'd like to ask the Shepherds brothers, you could send us a message over on Facebook or comment below the live, and we will be asking them. Actually, we see some questions coming through, so you need to stay tuned for that. We're heading to a quick commercial break. Don't move.
Enkindling our consciousness, Emancipation 2022 presents the Lawas Festival Guafet. A burst of color, culture, food and entertainment at the Constitution Park on William Peter Boulevard, Castries, Tuesday, August 30th at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come be part of a cultural sensory experience. For more information, go to CDF Facebook page. Participating partners, Government of St. Lucia, CDF, NRC, Umbutu, ICA, NYC, FRC, Denry North and South Constituency, Soufre Council, Soufre Foundation, Archaeological and Historical Society, SLHTA, and Events St. Lucia.
Welcome back, St. Lucia. We are live here at Crossroads, and we have the Shepherds in studio having some cocktails and great conversations. I want to find out about the level of reception from the community, in the community of canneries.
I mean, known to be so tight-knit as well.
Yeah, you're doing this business. What has been the level of reception from the community towards your business?
It's been very well received because
I must say.
there are times like if there's an event, like recently we had like an event in the village where a street jump by Bliss, and like also like there was like an opening of like a mini boutique, and we had our little stall on the outside, and our drinks were with the prices of the drinks. I tried not to make it as expensive for if you go to like a hotel or any restaurant. A drink would probably be like $20, $25. So I try to be reasonable for like everybody, so everybody could get like that experience. So it doesn't matter where like a drink where I make would probably cost like maybe $30 onwards, and I try to incorporate that and like say like no, everybody has to get that experience and try to put it in a reasonable price. So just make it fancy. Everybody has to get the same love.
I love this. Cost effective and fancy. I'm going to Canaries.
As if you needed any more reason after seeing him make that first drink, Barry.
But I find, I find that our Canaries community have been very supportive of our business. Like very supportive. Very, very, very supportive, I must say.
I think that's something we can certainly say about Canaries, about Soufre. They come out and they represent for their own. I mean, at this point, I would expect Canaries to have a flag, unless I am just ignorant to that development, but I'll be looking out
we
for
have
that.
A flag. We have a flag, but it's not
okay.
Canaries flag. We have a flag like our community. We call it Pakistan, but we have a where we live Riverside Road. That's our little own community. We are away from the village and everything. So
that happened like after the trough.
After the trough. So after the bridge went down, so we was like
Pakistan.
We call it Pakistan because it was really looking like Pakistan.
Let me tell you, community history.
Geography lesson for us right now.
But with like with Shepherd's cocktails and all these things, like the actual like end product would want to be like having like our own established business. Like, but you cannot have like you could have like the best bar in the world with the best drinks, but if you don't have the proper location, like it's like definitely not gonna sell. So location sells. You have the proper location, you could have the worst drinks and it's gonna work. But like location sells everything, so that's finding the right location and then we are good to go.
So am I hearing possible expansion coming soon?
Looking forward to it. So like I'm saying, this is our actual goal, and we are in the works of talking to people about like this, and then just hoping like with fingers crossed that we do get like our chances to get this.
I'm sure our viewers who usually visit Rodney Bay, I'm sure their taste buds are calling for this in Rodney Bay.
Barry's trying to throw in suggestions, so he wouldn't have to drive too far.
And the thing about where you have them, so like with like Shepherd's cocktail and all these things, we will get people. Recently, we did like a party all the way in Shrewsbury, a birthday party for like for kids, and like we get like these little calls, and we just need a theme. If you need a color theme with the drinks, we try to make this, and kids party, all these things. Just try to make everything just
very diverse.
Absolutely, and Barry did mention. Rodney Bay, but of course we need to think about decentralizing as well.
Certainly.
So getting more things up in the south. I noticed there's sushi places in the south now. There's different kind of culinary experiences you could have in addition to what it's traditionally known for. And people from the north will come. I remember there was a period of time every single Thursday, I'll not mention where they were going, but everybody from the north was heading down to Labrie.
True.
So as long as you have a good product and a good location, in addition to the ambience of the whole thing, I know you mentioned the steel pump, people will come. All right, so with our viewers, we did mention that we will be taking in questions. So are you ready for the questions from St. Lucia?
Oh yes, I am.
Ready?
All right, so let's start off with Lance. So you did mention that your brother is the main bartender, and earlier on you spoke about being involved in so many things that you were even questioning if you should take up the presidency. So what made you decide to try your hand in bartending when your brother wouldn't be available?
Okay, so in bartending, the pandemic. So we did not have anything to do at that time. But Springboard had a free course. So I took some time to do a course there. And then I was like, hey, you see me? I will do it. But then my brother is a bartender. I was thinking about, he's teaching me to mix, and you know, sometimes we could do a little something, just that little experience. But then again, I took it up and then I actually ran with it.
Okay.
So that's like my little, when I have nothing to do,
You can learn something.
I learn something new.
This man is such an inspiration. I need to take some notes, Barry.
But yeah, that's what I do on a free time majority of the time. Just like mix and learn how to mix and that kind of thing. But thanks to Springboard on that free course, then I'm certified in bartending as well.
Way to go.
All right. We also have a question for Titus. During your montage, you would have mentioned working on a cruise line. So after working so many years on the cruise ship, what inspired you to come back to St. Lucia and start off a bartending business with your brother?
I am still currently I'm actually working with like Carnival. But like the thing
on your vacation?
The thing is like I'm trying to like have things done on my own. So like mentioning like I've been a bartender from 2006. I started off in the Virgin Islands, and then like say from then. But it's always been like working. I try to work in the hotels. It's in St. Lucia. It's kind of like where you get blocked by friends because there's always like distractions and all this. And there's a party there, there's a party this. So I choose to work like outside there until like I'm saying now getting like things done by myself, like where I get more responsibilities. So I could be more responsible on my own and have my own free time. So when whilst I'm here, it's like just trying to work where I don't really have to go out there again. So if it blooms, bye-bye for the carnival as well.
All right. I just want to note right now that I think it's so important that we have people like the two of you engaging with the youth and working in youth development in St. Lucia because a lot of time for young people, if you come to us and you tell us, hey, this is what you're supposed to do with your life, and you're not actually living that reality, it's like, just so that person come in and talk to me, that you just read that from a textbook, you're just repeating it to me, I could go Google that myself. But here you are, spending your time in the pandemic, learning to mix drinks and turning that into a business. And here you are, you know, you went out of St. Lucia so you could focus, and then you're coming back home to bring in the skills that you would have learned. So I just want to, you know, throw that out there. And of course, I enjoy giving people their flowers. Barry knows that for sure.
Yes. I say diversity. I say resilience is what I'm seeing present before me this evening. I mean, we've had quite a lot of talk about, conversation rather, about Shepherd's Cocktail, but how can we reach you?
Yes.
The marketing man, how can we reach you?
So you could call us directly. Our numbers is at the back of our business cards. So my number is 733-5492, or you could check us out on Instagram at Shepherd with a Z Cocktails. Yes. Or if you want, you could check us on my personal page. It's Lunch Shepherd 17 on Instagram, Facebook as well.
Well, there you have it, St. Lucia Shepherd's Cocktail. You have the information how to reach them. Don't sleep on you. Get in the mix, the actual mix.
They get the actual mix.
Shake.
Yes.
All right, we've had quite a bit of discussions this evening. I mean, had it been left to us alone, we would still be talking, but we have time constraints. So we will settle for keeping up with Shepherd's Cocktails through your social media. So St. Lucia, don't miss out on giving them a follow. Now, I think it's only fair that I give our special host the opportunity to close this evening's show. So Barry, I will count you down and you will bring us out of this edition of Crossroads. Are you ready?
Certainly, it's been quite an exciting evening. My first time shifting the gears, moving from behind the scenes to in front of the camera. It has been quite refreshing. And I can do it a refreshing drink from Shepherd's Cocktail. But gentlemen, thank you so very much for being here with us this evening. The conversation was great. I believe St. Lucia really appreciates and will be reaching out to you. As we pull the curtains down, I believe we must say thanks to our sponsors, KFC, of course, GIS. They're doing such an amazing job. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. Don't forget, you can view on DBS
on
11
Saturday from 11 a.m.
to 12, and it's coming to Choice TV very soon. So, yeah.
All right, and we just have to say thank you to Barry, because you know it's one thing to lead, it's one thing to direct, but it's another thing to step into the shoes. So you have to be able to put what you're saying into practice as well. And Barry, you're a great example in that sense.
Why, thank you. I think the still pan and the cocktails had me going tonight.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much for being with us this evening, St. Lucia. Do enjoy the rest of your night.